And hello to everyone out there. This is Commander Trium talking to you once again with another event in the Elite Dangerous universe. We are talking with Commander Marcus on Discord and awaiting some activity from Commander Squaddle, who you see represented in the center at the screen at the moment, who's apparently at the main menu. Let's, or maybe the top right of the screen, as the case may be. Let's get involved with the game right away. We'll just join the Discord chat already in progress. Hello again. This audio is being streamed. Can you hear me okay, Marcus?
Nope.
Okay. Private Marcus Wildcat server. Okay. Should join an open mission at some point in the future, but right now we're in the Corvette, the FNS Generex. Comm system initialized. Let's have a go over here at Galaxy Map and we'll see where it is in the Empire we're heading today to complete our mission tasks. I think we should probably switch to the Anaconda after we've upgraded the Corvette's fighter command. En route to Cabello, we've got... let's go over here and have a look at the power play map. Holy crap. I'm always stunned by how quickly this thing changes. That's in the middle of Panavental systems. Not really that interested in going there. Aisling Duval, the center of her sphere of influence is right there. Holy crap, she's losing influence quickly. Course laid in for Cabello. HIP 1572 is the designated target for expansion. It is very close to Cabello and most likely will return highest yields on influence points. Her influence is contracting, which is a little strange. She's traditionally one of the more stronger contenders. Since she has the prismatic shield in her possession. The bubble looks so small with when it's contrasted against the rest of the galaxy. But it is gradually, the bubble is gradually getting bigger. Definitely bigger. Empress Arissa Livigny Duval has taken virtually every star system that faces off with the Guardians. Which is very odd. Although there is an outpost of Hudson at the Lenti system. Seems the center of the galaxy is getting a little too crowded for poor old Hudson. He's barely hanging on to Sol. In fact, the Earth is about to fall under the influence of the Alliance. That would be a huge, huge change to the game if the Earth went with the Alliance instead of the Federation. It would probably change the political dynamic considerably, since it's one of the most populous worlds. See if there's any missions here by the Dark Wheel.
What?
I'm at Shinarta Desra. There are 2 community goals this week. The Federation has 2 representatives here. Aronaga and LTT 4487 Industry. The Dark Wheel. Let's see. I have some standing with them. I'm considered cordial with the Dark Wheel. I can make a quick million by delivering $60 units of reactive armor to Aeneas. Aeneas is in the wrong fucking direction. in the sphere of influence of the civilization of Chomtanitsi, which has got alliance membership and backing. No. Go to map, please. Okay. 60 units of non-lethal weapons to LFT 926, 5.6 light years, open in the galactic map, please. It is in the right direction. And it is close. But it means delivering the cargo to a world under civil unrest. The binary system of LFT 926 is mainly comprised of icy worlds, however much asteroid belt and metal-rich planet around companion star supports mixed refinery and high-tech economy. Travelers often report that there are more watchers and combat-capable ships passing through than they expected for such a modest system. The home system of Los Chupacabras, they are a small group of dedicated smugglers, bounty hunters, and pirates. System is currently engaged in civil unrest. And finally, LHS 346. No, it's a lateral move. But it is worth $1 million. Use the ship. Computer, show me outfitting. I'd like to see available points for cargo hatch insertion. The fuel scoop can be sacrificed. This is a cargo run. One will be traveling in the bubble, so I'm going to remove the fuel scoop for the time being. We're going to sell off the 5D auto maintenance field maintenance unit. sold. Let's bring the, hang on. Where the hell are all the other system names? Hatchbreaker limpet controller, bring it home. Transfer to this station. No, it's Robogo California Wogam. 3D collector limpet controller. Transfer to this station. Enforcer cannon is in Argala. Another one's in Jeraji. Solar system decontamination limpet. Okay, about half the inventory has been culled. Soul, Bioweave Shield Generator C. Reinforced Shields Enhancement. So bring that to the station. Guardian Plasma Launcher. Soul Shift Drive Booster 5H. Guardian Shard Cannon 3D transferring to station. AX multi-cannons transfer to the station. Overcharged power plant. "5B thrusters, dirty drive tuning, normal space propulsion." Uh, 2D fragment. No, we'll leave it there. Multi-cannon. No. Pack-Hound Missile Rack 2B. Paralympic Class 5. Okay, that's it for this run. Mission board. Dark wheel. This will bring us closer to friendly with the dark wheel. Okay, and we're gone from there. Something's changed in the mission board. I have an exclamation point icon. I don't know why. I guess because I'm currently engaged in a mission. Computer, execute launch sequence. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jump. Dynamic quantum exploration? I wonder what the hell that means. That doesn't make any sense. It's a probe orbiting a planet in this nearby system to Shinrar Tadezra. I might take a look at it after. Alliance Challenger on target. Stefano Ferrari is wanted. He may be a pirate and may be attempting to fall into our wake pattern. LHS 346 Aquarius class tanker detected. Submitting to interdiction.
Affirmative, Commander. Establishing fighter link. Link established. Awaiting instructions.
First ring of shields under stress. Launching pack hounds. 2 dispersions. Hit, 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 hit. Third, 4th salvo.
Oh, what time is it? Fucking hell.
I'm in the middle of a battle. Stand by.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Launching 5-6 salvos.
Were you going streaming anymore? You didn't start streaming again, did you?
Yes, I did. Why, did you fall asleep? Is that embarrassing?
No, but I'm gonna go to sleep in a minute. That's for the morning.
Oh, really?
Get some sleep, so figure out the day again.
Salvo 7. Increasing power to weapons. He's done. Target obliterated. Shutting engines down. Received help from Alliance forces. This system. There were 5 assistants.
Yes.
Okay, and now we are moving to... Holy shit, there's a Corvette.
Right, I'm gonna get some sleep, then I'm back later.
Okay, take care, Marcus.
See ya.
See ya.
Copy that. Plotting route for fighter recovery. Fighter retrieval sequence complete, Commander. We're cleared to depart.
That's interesting. There's a high wake as well as debris from the flotsam. That's interesting.
Cargo scoop retracted.
Standing down from battle alert.
Frameshift drive charging.
Frame shift inhibited factor 23. It's an Anaconda class.
Hello.
Hello. Who's this?
Niv.
Oh, hi. How you doing? Haven't seen you on in a while.
Yeah, well, I play Xbox a lot, so.
Of course, you've heard the news from Frontier as of yesterday, yeah?
Hmm?
You heard the news from Frontier yesterday?
No. No, hold on. Shyster.
I'm just docking at MacArthur Gateway and system...
One sec, hold on. I'll get to you in a sec, hold on.
Okay. That's worrisome. I could be attacked any second. I'm in a contested system. "12,000 kilometers from station. Closing on target. Decelerating sublight.
Hello?
Hello.
Alright, that works way better now.
Okay, stand by. I'm just docking right now.
Yep, standing by.
Docking request granted. Access granted to landing pad 24, computer. Laying in course to station. We have a hostile who just jumped within range of the base. Switching to automated docking sequence.
You are go for automated docking. Enjoy the flight, Commander.
Says they're waiting in queue. Yeah, so the news from Frontier yesterday was that there is going to be no further development on Elite, the current version, until 2020, month 6 or later. So,
Yeah, I heard that one.
yeah, that was the big news of yesterday morning from Frontier. And consequently, we are going to be stuck with what we have more or less until next year. I wrote an article about it from a software development perspective, since I'm a professional software developer.
Cool.
What's that?
I said cool.
Yeah, it got noticed by a couple people, but most people that aren't technical wouldn't understand why I was arguing and defending Frontier as I was. There's a lot of hate mail sent at Frontier yesterday.
Well, okay, the normal thing, honestly, is just because people are short-minded and they want what they want immediately. They do not have no concept of time, especially since when it comes to games with further development. Frontier has been shown that the development has proven worthy, but it's also been taking a long time, so I don't see that's conflict. But what I don't see is the fact that they keep bringing on the whole entire fact back in 2016 not 2016, back in 2017. Their whole entire deal was going to be, they hinted to a lot, and they even said it themselves, that they were focusing on space legs, but there's no space legs that have been delivered yet. So far, we got an SRV rover, some drones, that's pretty much it. And only further development engineering, garden side cargoids have been in interest, but also lack, so to speak, risk more reward.
Yeah, they're also delivering to, don't forget, not just one, not two, not three, but 4 different platforms, including the PC, the Xbox, the PS4, and I heard there was a version coming out for the Mac, but I don't know if that was aborted or what happened to it. But I think they split their demand too many different ways. Oh, and VR, of course, which we all know is perspective driven and is a slightly different interface than console. So they have different platforms with different devices being used on a platform that's really aimed at the PC primarily. And while you can use it on a console, yes, I don't think you're going to get the full length and breadth of options that you're going to have with a PC. A PC is just more powerful than a gaming console. There's no way around it. Apart from that, there are certain architectural realities to software development which make it extraordinarily difficult for a company to develop the full set of features, debug them, test them on every platform, and deliver them bug-free on a consistent basis when you are dealing with, among other things, internet services, networking, hacking, piracy, etc., etc., etc. And all of these factors taken together as a whole, they need to also keep an eye on Star Citizen, Starfield, and other games that are coming to both consoles and the PC platform as competitors in the future. In fact, Star Citizen has a number of times the money that Elite has had available to it, both budgetarily speaking and in terms of Frontier's ability to just deliver it as a gaming company. They can't do all these things and not experience the human realities of delays. When you're on a project, as I have been, every single time I take a day off from work, it's a day further back that my project gets delayed. And it doesn't take very many of those before, we have weeks. And if I'm not around, as, say, the lead architect on a software project, well, what are the other staff doing? Are they around? Do they know what to do? What pieces are they working on? What stages of delivery are they working on? There's the human management concept. So for a new company that's less than, for all intents and purposes, I mean, Elite did exist, Frontier existed well before 5 years ago, but really Elite, the first version, was crowdfunded, and then we got versions 2 and 3 with Horizons and Beyond. And now we've hit a wall. I mean, if you look at the realities of planetary colonies with 20,000, on Earth-type environments that are terraformed with 20,000 colonists on the surface, why the hell have we got cities on the dark side of these planets? Like, where does that even come from? Why? Well, because the planets are texture mapped against polygons, spherical polygons, right? And now we're talking about changing the game so that we can fly through the atmosphere, deal with storms, cloud cover, the realities of gameplay on planet, as well as, and all the variables that includes, as well as, oh, and by the way, we would like to make sure that when colonies are seen from space, it reflects the number of people. So that when you see a colony's lights from high orbit, and a few little lights around it, maybe out in the periphery, that's it, because that's 20,000 people right there. Not the whole planet's full of people now. All of a sudden, what are all these empty buildings doing here? And then you have to ask yourself, well, what about cities? What about flying through gas giants? Where you have 600 km/h ammonia-fed sulfur winds. And fluorine and Christ knows what else flying through the atmosphere, and different layers to each gas giant. What governs all that stuff? I mean, the physics is mind-boggling. It's nothing short of a minor miracle that Elite 1.0 has been able to deliver what it has. The next version of Elite, to be released in 2020, will allow for a lot more upward scalability. And while you might not get space legs right off the bat, it will come in due course, but it will take time to deliver, because they're not trying to be a Star Citizen. They're trying to compete with them, maybe, but they're not trying to become them. They don't have the and even Hollywood, which has no experience really with software development. They have some experience with game development, but not on the scale of, say, a Microsoft or a Google, with software development projects. They don't really understand how this is going to be done. They're rendering their actors in 3 dimensions using, position mapping, facial expressions, that kind of thing. And while all that stuff is very cool, it is not going to result in necessarily in gameplay that's any better than Elite. But I think what Elite has to do is fill a niche. It has to do something different. It has to be good at what it's great at. And it's great at providing the galaxy, the whole length and breadth of the galaxy. Star Citizen can't begin to do that because it's just got too many polygons to render. If it had to, if you asked Star Citizen's architecture to deliver an entire galaxy, it would overload in probably about 5 minutes. It couldn't contain the number of users. They haven't had the problems that Elite has now got experience dealing with over the last 5 years, and that will be reflected in the future. You'll see. You'll have a much better gaming experience as a result. But it is going to take a certain amount of commitment on the users not to bleed away into some other corner of the gaming universe to play Beat Saber or whatever the fuck twists their fancy, and actually deliver a really competitive product that can stand up to Hollywood and say, yeah, in fact, we're better at software development than you are, and here's the proof. We have the experience and the expertise to show you how well it can be done here in jolly old England, and maybe to a degree in Canada at the Halifax office. Over how well it can be done in the United States with the limits that exist on the American, not the American knowledge base certainly, but on the American competition for software developers, which is very intense right now. But time will tell. And those were the points I made in my own blog article, which, as I said, got picked up by a couple people, which is kind of neat. But all of that would be lost on the on a lot of the gaming users. All they want to do is play a game. They don't see, you know, the simulation that's going, or, you know, the fact that we're in the year 3000 something, and that this is supposed to be what life would be like according to one person's version 3,000 years or 1,000 years in the future, potentially. Holy crap, it's 5 a.m. GMT. Where are you? Are you in the United States? Eastern or western side? Or middle?
East.
East? Okay, so you're in the same time zone as I am? I don't even know what time it is here. It's 11:59 p.m. It's midnight. So what have I got here? Oh, yeah, we have to do starport services. So, sorry I had to go on that little rant, but
No, it's no problem.
it's basically what I said in my article. I won't make you read it all again.
Yeah.
You sound kind of young. Are you in your 20s?
Me 20s.
Earlier? Later? What's that?
Earlier. I'm 16.
Oh, good God! You're just a baby. Well, compared to me, I'm turning 50 in not this year but next. So I'm 48 right now. In other words. I graduated university and the internet went commercial in the same year where I lived, so that's how I got my career started. I would have rather been born 30 years later in the year 2000, been a millennial. I think I could have taken much better advantage of that situation. But you always want to be younger. You'll find out as you get older that, especially when you start reaching 45 and 50 years old, you'll want to be, mark my words, you'll want to be 16 again and do it all over.
Oh my gosh, I'm so mad. Yeah, I'm just listening, sorry.
Well, you'll think that there are mistakes you've made. I mean, I'm not unhappy with how my life turned out at all, but I make good money. I'm competent at what I do, and I know my skills will be in demand for the rest of my life. But I could work easily into my 70s, you know. But do I really want to do that? Like, what does the future look like, really? I would rather see us establish a colony on Mars and start branching out into the solar system to harvest some of the mineral wealth there. I don't know that I'm going to get that chance, and I really, really would like to. That's my only regret.
I think I killed this guy. But actually, man.
Which guy? Where are you in the game?
I'm playing. Oh, I'm not playing Elite right now.
Oh, okay. What are you playing? Minecraft?
Battlefield 4.
Oh, okay. How's that?
It's fun, man. It's my type of thing. You know, last time I was on it, and that was when I was 12. I was actually a world ranked elite pilot and world ranked elite, like top ranked recon, or sniper. So I got a good history, but I can't uphold because I'm not the same anymore because I haven't been playing the game day after day.
I can kind of relate to what it's like for you, but not really completely, because you've been given a gaming experience that I would have killed for when I was your age. Like at age 16, the type of game that I would be exposed to might have been something like Star Trek for Basic, for the TRS-80 Model 1 or maybe the Model 3. And these systems had 4K RAM, 8K RAM, 16K RAM. I mean, you're given gigabytes and gigabytes and gigabytes of storage space just to begin with, never mind how much active memory you have. Like billions of bytes I mean, just to have a few thousand, it was amazing what could be achieved, but the graphics sucked shit. They really did. They were like nothing like what you have today. I have no idea what it's like exactly. I mean, there were gaming consoles at the time. There were like Ataris and whatnot, Nintendo. But I really have no idea what it was like to grow up with that stuff. I would have liked to have had that experience.
I'm okay with the route that game is going, but I don't like the fact that it's becoming more of a less of like it's becoming less of like engaging experience, and it's more about. And I still hate myself for saying this, but it is true. It's less about having fun and more about competition and money.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that, but like I just don't like how the fact that you have a company like EA and no one else, and everyone just keeps falling into them over and over again. Like, let's buy FIFA 2020, even though it's the same thing as like FIFA 16 or FIFA 15.
Yeah.
Like, really, guys? They just re-render the graphics and they change one mechanic, and they add a new style setup. Boom. That's EA 2021. Haha, beat it.
Well, that was going on through high school. I mean, it was like, what's the latest, greatest, piece of software you had running on your system. I mean, that competition I'm very familiar with. Back as far back as I can remember, basically. Not quite that bad, but my earliest memory, I'm 2 years old. You know when that was? That was in 1972. I have memories dating back, 46 years. Holy shit. Decades ago. You'll get there eventually. But it just seems like life is speeding up so fast, like right now. Like, not that I'm not keeping up, I am, but time is not changed at all, but it just seems like it's all becoming a blur. It's all like blurring together. Because I have so many memories, and like by the time I'm 70 or 80 or 90, if I live that long, what's it going to be like? Is it going to seem like, like a year goes by in a second or something? Like, it must just get like insane. I tried to get this out of my grandparents. They were born, by the way, before World War II. My grandparents. My grandfather fought Adolf Hitler. Directly. The big, nasty, evil man that he was. We have no concept today of what that type of person would be like. He was gassing people by the million.
We associate it with smaller things, and we try to put a larger. We associate small things with that type of scale to make it seem worth more paying attention to, or getting more people involved with it. Like calling anybody that we disagree with a Nazi. And sadly, it's because there's nothing really to hold the country together, and there's no common objective anymore when it comes to, and that's the true thing about peace. Once you have peace, what else is there to do? You know what I mean? What's more than peace? So once you have peace, pretty much everyone's going after each other.
Yeah, but there's a case scenario that I think the young people today don't get, is that you can have peace at any price if you want to. Like this latest Trump trip, for example, President Trump goes to North Korea, right? And the big fear was he was going to hand over everything in the kitchen sink over to Kim Jong-un for a handful of meaningless concessions that the North Koreans, would be prepared to give him. They weren't even prepared to give him that. And North Korea is probably never going to get a better deal. Probably never. At some point, you either let the aggressor keep bullying you, or you confront the aggressor, and you say, okay, enough's enough. And that's what they did in World War II. I mean, Neville Chamberlain, a fellow Prime Minister of Great Britain at the time, Neville Chamberlain, came back with a signed document from Adolf Hitler. It was a tacit lie, claiming he would never invade Czechoslovakia or Poland. And then he turned around and did exactly that. And he opened the Eastern Front with the Polish first, and then he was going to move on into Russia. He'd committed with Stalin, who was president of Russia at the time. Basically, it was a communist state. It's slightly different, but he was basically the leader of Russia. And he said, yeah, no, I won't invade Russia. And then he turned around and did that too. And at some point, you just got to push back and say, look, you're full of shit. A war might be, at times, your only hope to get out of a situation. It really can be that bad, much as it sucks. Peace is the ultimate goal, of course, but there's many routes there. One of them is defeating your enemy and taking them down and making sure they don't get.
If you don't have an enemy, then you create them. So that's what.
Yeah, you can. I agree. I agree with that. You can create them, but if you don't take them down, they might never stop coming, and then you'll find yourself not free anymore. And boy, you'll hate that a lot more. So we're told. But I believe it. I mean, my grandparents certainly did. Certainly they lived through a period of this planet's history when it was really looking really like Canada, the United States, Great Britain were all going to be defeated. All of us. We're gonna be subject to Nazi totalitarian rule. All the Jews in our midst, they would have been rounded up and shot or gassed. Every last single one of them, without discrimination. That's who the Nazis were. They believed in their own Aryan superiority, and they really believed it to 110%. And there's just no way to deal with that kind of evil except by confronting it. As much as peace is a goal to an end, there are many different paths there. And understanding that is something I don't think people do today anymore. And it's one of the reasons that Trump maybe was so prepared to make the concessions he was to Kim Jong-un. Partly because it would enhance his own prestige back at home in the United States. But also because people have forgotten the lessons of World War II and what that meant. And it's so important to freedom that it be remembered. And I just don't have the sense. Maybe I'm getting old, like I said. I sound like an old man to myself even, like, oh, the young today don't understand. But if you didn't grow up with it, and if you weren't confronted with it to the extent that your predecessors were, how would you know? You wouldn't, right? It's information that has to be sort of drilled over and over again to sort of get the desired effect. So some believe, anyway. Maybe you'll come around to that. Maybe you'll come around to that opinion on your own. I have no real idea, but don't give up on. Don't. As strange as it may sound to say, you can do worse than declaring war on someone. There's a lot worse than that. Because a war has an end too, right? If you start one and you finish it as the victor, then you get to set the terms about how it ends. And it doesn't have to be antagonistic. The West was very, they helped rebuild Germany after the war. So Germans did most of the work, frankly, but the West was there to help them with money, with loans, with the means to rebuild, because there was another war before that called World War I, where in the Treaty of Versailles, Germany was punished wasn't allowed to have an army anymore, and did all sorts, and it led to Hitler. So, I mean, there were lessons that were learned before World War II as well. And the antagonism you speak of was one of those things in the Treaty of Versailles. Hopefully it doesn't all lead to a World War III, but, you know, human beings being as competitive as we are. And if it's not that, it's got to be money, about money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to...
What I see things when it comes to conversations and viewpoints is that in order to establish a set end or a set of terms to agree on, you must both have a common set objective or goal.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter how you do it, but that's the point of the conversation, is how to do it, not what is right and what is wrong.
True.
So,
both sides have to be, it's said traditionally that both sides have to be reasonable people.
No, not reasonable. They have to be set in the same understanding of the objective at hand. So this is why so many different peace treaties are now. During, what should I call it? Super Revolution in the Civil War as well. Because the common goal and objective is that we want the war to end and blah 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 blah. Alright? And everyone was focused on the war ending. So it was kind of easier later after so many deaths. Now it's like, we don't want this death to happen, it's like all the blood being spilled. It was a lot easier to set a peace treaty down, and we were able to fix ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
when you compare to us versus Japan, that was a fun one. Where they're like,
because they got nuked in the end by the United States. You know, there's, as I said.
Well, here's what I'm saying. They didn't have a common goal, so there was really no peace in the end. They lost, and nothing was accomplished. The ground was built. We actually had to keep on playing the good side.
Well, the argument, just to clarify, the argument with Japan at the end of World War II was a little different than it was for the end of the war with Germany. The end of the war with Japan came around because the United States had in front of it, it had what it saw as hundreds of islands it would have to conquer, each one individually, before they could push the Japanese armed forces back to the main Japanese islands of Okinawa, Japan, where whatever the main island's called, and the one that's furthest north, I'm sorry, I forget the name of. Anyway, these islands were sort of the goal, and they had to push them back because there could always be the threat of having a smaller Japanese force, attack a larger American force with, suicide kind of mentality, and still cripple the American Navy right there in the Pacific. So rather than risk American lives, the American president at the time had to make a call about whether or not it was better to nuke a couple cities and compel the Japanese emperor to surrender, or fight the whole war conventionally and take them out systematically, one island at a time. And the argument favoring nukes was that it shortened the war in that narrow context where they had a couple of weapons available for deployment. In that narrow context, they could actually get away with it and probably shorten the war. And that's why it was ruled in favor of, I think, by the president of the day. A lot of the documentation suggests that's at least the case, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years later. Hopefully that's true, and I think, they might have made the right call, but I'm not the right person to ask. I mean, who the hell am I to say whether or not 4 million people needed to die when maybe they didn't? Or 2 million, or whatever the hell it was. I don't know exactly how many. There were 86 million casualties as a result of World War II. 86 million people. including the systematic extermination of Jews or members of the Jewish faith from certain parts of Europe.
That's not counting the other people that were executed. It was actually 12 million if you count the other minorities.
What's that? I didn't quite
12
hear.
million were extermination camps. It's 12 million extermination camps.
Yeah.
That's counting minorities. It was a good, Yeah, that's the data. That's all extermination camps. I don't have the full data.
Well, was it?
A lot of stuff in the Holocaust. Here am I.
Yeah. No, I just know the totals. I'm not stuck on anything. I don't think. I'm just aware of the numbers. I'm also aware of the numbers projected for a third world conflict, say starting between India and Pakistan, which had recently entered the news yet again. That would be good for nobody. But I mean, the Americans came along one more time and sort of explained to India and Pakistan, look, boys and girls, we're gonna all play nice, aren't we? The trouble is with nuclear weapons, the kind that are currently employed by Pakistan and India, they don't have a limit to environmental damage, right? And so everyone pays. The whole planet does, in some form or another, however limited it might be in some regions that are fortunate. But you don't want to see that many people killed. It goes north of 100 million in the opening 20 minutes. Let's put it that way. I mean, that would be a loss unmeasured in this. There's never been a loss of human life that large before. And it's something I'd very much like to avoid. And I'm worried we might not be able to, but I'd like to. I guess I'd like to experience the future and find out if we do make it as well. So it's kind of leaves me in a conflicted state. Crimson Syndicate. These are smugglers. Yeah, they're terrorists. I'm in LHS 346 doing a mission for the Dark Wheel right now. You know who the Dark Wheel is, of course.
No.
Oh, they're the people. Have you heard the legend of Raxla?
The what?
Raxla?
Raxla.
Yeah.
Oh, what's
Raxxla. It's a planet or a world where it is said that there is a phenomenon in space legend, anyway. There is some sort of phenomenon that gives you access to another galaxy full of stars or another reality full of worlds. I personally believe it is some kind of hyperspatial portal to maybe Andromeda or M33 Triangulum. Which are two nearby galaxies in the local group. But I don't know.
Andromeda's the closest, I believe, but we are still separating, so...
What's that?
Andromeda's the closest, but the galaxies are still separating. Very, very slowly.
Yeah, we're quite far away from Andromeda. It's over 1.8 million light years or something away. Better part of 2 million at any rate. Yeah, it's an insane amount of distance, and between galaxies there's virtually nothing. There might be some dark matter and some other stuff, but it's basically cold, dark, and empty for the most part. So say the theorists anyway. And I suspect this game would back that up. But if you wanted access to Andromeda, you go find Raxla. Anyway, this is the kind of expansion I think they might be talking about that could be feasible in 2000 and... Oh, by the way, it also might be the galaxy... It might be the originating galaxy for the Thargoids, because the Thargoids are thought to also come from outside the Milky Way galaxy. So...
I like how Elite Dangerous is very, very horrible on life.
It's got a long history. I mean, I played all the prior versions of Elite for the PC.
Well, all these freaking aliens I hear talk about anything, even with those games, and everybody talks about like, oh, it's Thargoids, and like maybe Guardians, but I feel like Guardians are just like robots.
Well, the Thargoids and the Guardians also had a war with one another way back. But the Thargoids expand. They have a unique means of expansion. That's what the barnacles are about, right? They send their barnacles out. They take root in an airless vacuum type world soil, and then they grow ships or something, interceptors, maybe capital ships that are even larger, and then they try to kill everything that's not Thargoid. It's why the Federation and the Empire in the Elite Dangerous universe, why they were in alliance with one another against the Thargoids during the First Thargoid War. They developed a biotoxin, a mycoid-based toxin, which is a mushroom-like fungus, basically, that attacked Thargoid armor and killed Thargoids. So they invented this bioweapon that was hugely damaging to Thargoids, and apparently the Thargoids have adapted, now have a defense against it, and they're attacking once again in the Second Thargoid War. Which is why yeah, there was mushrooms, I don't know. Anyway, some kind of fungus, suffice to say. Probably an alien fungus. I don't think they went into that much detail about the exobiology, but they did have some discussion of where the Thargoids were coming from and what they were doing in the previous games of Elite. And incidentally, in Elite 2 Frontier, you used to be able to enter planets' atmospheres and go visit cities on the surface. So I was kind of disappointed.
Well, we can't do that.
What's that?
We can't do that though.
And they can't do that here, no. Not yet. Maybe in 2020. I would wager there's a good chance we probably will be able to in 2020. The other thing you could do in Elite 2 Frontier was you could enter a gas giant, and you could refuel off the gas giant just like you can a star right now. So you could charge your hyperdrive off gas giants as well as stars, which would be a huge advantage. But I don't know if they're going to let us get away with that a second time. The design of the star drive has changed substantially in the last several hundred years of game lore. They lost the original designs for the cloud-based hyperspatial drive. Now we're using hyperspatial wake drives. So they're quite different. They're quite different. What's that?
That's funny.
Yeah, so they're quite different from one another, and they don't even react the same way. It used to be that to trace someone through hyperspace, you had to lock onto their cloud that they left behind, this huge cloud, like similar to the one that you see when Majestic class Imperial battle cruisers and Federation Farragut warships enter close quarters combat with one another. I don't know if you've ever seen any videos on YouTube.
And they literally make instead of like jumping in with a wake, they jump in with a portal, almost like a wormhole.
Well, it's like a military hyperspatial drive. It's one that we don't have access to, and it's commercially available. But the other one, I think the military probably still does have the designs for, and they probably still use it. Anyway.
So you can't track. But the crazy part, what it sounds like, is you can't FSD interdict those guys. You have to.
Oh no! No! You can't FSD interdict Thargoids. You can't FSD interdict Farragut battle cruisers, and you can't FSD interdict.
That's what I mean. Is it the warp drive technology?
It's their drive technology. Yeah.
Exactly. So literally allow you to
Also, I can give you some of the science behind how the hyperspatial drive works. You need a gravity well in order to stop it. Otherwise, you'll get lost in witch space, and you'll travel in between realities forever. Like in that intersystem cloud, you'll never find a way out. So you have to lock on to a known gravity well at specific coordinates, otherwise you're lost. That's why you have to jump from star system to star system, and only for a certain length of time, because anything else destabilizes your drive, and you won't be able to make it. You'll get lost, and that'll be the end of you. You'll die in this interdimensional void somewhere, if you're lucky. If not, you'll never die, and you'll just spend all eternity searching endlessly through the void for a star that probably isn't there anymore.
Well, remember, the light you receive from one system is old.
Well, these are old games of Elite. They probably predate you. Actually being. They're older. They're older than 16 years old. They're closer to 20.
Not about the light of a star.
Yeah, they're pretty old. I guess they're about 20 years old. They were. I mean, 1990. So about 20 years old. Yeah.
Stars, like big balls of hydrogen.
Oh, stars. Well, they're millions of years old. So, but it doesn't matter because time isn't a necessary constant in which space. Like you can't rely on normal physical laws applying. You're already breaking them by going faster than light between two star systems. So you can't base everything on the current time, space time.
No, I'm talking about like you made a comment like you go into a star looking for a glowy thing and you won't find it. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of funny. Like in one system you get light that's millions of years old, and that star couldn't even be there.
Yeah, well. That's what I mean. Like you could find yourself hundreds of thousands of years or millions of years even in the future, in the span that you might experience a few seconds for all we know. I mean, there's no way to sort of isolate. There's no way to be absolutely sure about the space-time reference you're using between star systems. As I said, you shouldn't be able to go faster than light in the first place. So you're breaking physical laws by doing that anyway. You're sort of cheating by creating an interdimensional rift through space-time to another location in the universe, but you need a gravity well to terminate it. Without gravity, there's no finding anything in which space. Gravity is the only constant. But there are how many billion stars? 400 billion stars in the galaxy. So, and of those 400 billion, humanity has so far that Elite Dangerous has been, since its release, we've explored 0.036%. That's 36/100ths of 1% of the galaxy since the dawn of Elite, including Colonia and as far as we've ever explored. And we've been to the other side of the galaxy as well. So, I mean, no one's studying. And apparently, the system that Raxla is in has been already visited by a traveler. Someone did pass through the system, but they didn't scan it. They just passed through. So all they did is they stopped, they reoriented themselves, and moved on to the next star system. They didn't scan the system when they were inside it. Consequently, they didn't find Raxla, and Frontier won't tell us which star system it was. So there's that as well to chew on. Okay. We have to go to Cubeo.
Is he hearing better now?
You still sound kind of deep and hollow-ish. I don't know what kind of microphone. What's that?
Like, am I louder? Or?
You're very loud, but you're very hard to understand as well. It's like you're talking into a shoebox or something, and then using the echo from that sort of the. It's very, 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 very deep and hard to understand. I mean, I can understand you, it's just I have to work at it. Universal cartographics. Oh, good.
Yeah.
That sounds much better.
Alright.
Now I can hear you breathing.
Yeah. There you go. Is that better?
Yeah, I can understand you perfectly. And every
No
breath you're...
breathing?
And you're breathing, every breath you take.
Seriously? Like you can hear my breaths right now?
Yep. But I could turn you down too.
That's stupid.
At my end. Well, I would do it through Discord.
No, it's stupid that like the fact that I have it under my chin and you're still able to hear me breathing. That's so weird.
The microphone is supposed to be spoken into directly by your mouth. Although, actually in my case, I'm wearing the Oculus VR headset, so what you're technically hearing of my voice is reverberating through my skull. Into the headset.
That's the same thing. That's what my headsets do.
Is it?
On Xbox.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, because like it's like audio control.
Yeah.
Just so that way it doesn't sound like I'm muffled, and it sounds like I'm talking next to someone. Like.
Yeah, but they somehow
so what it does is
they somehow compensate so it doesn't sound muffled. Because ordinarily my skull is full of tissue, and there's no way to to stop that from sounding muffled. But they somehow have managed to account for it. So.
Yeah, well. Because what they do is they take your voice and then
pitch it up.
They turn the volume on your chat like a little bit up so you sound like you're having a conversation like right now. But if I was to
yeah, but everyone's head is full of fluid and brains and and
yeah, but it's just because the way your ears are not working on projecting in, it's not working by projecting in your skull.
Well, I don't have I don't have a microphone attached to the Oculus, so it's got to be coming. I figure it has to be going through the skull. What else could it sense?
Hold on. Hold on.
There's no other device. Oh, that's blocked. Hang on. Hello, Commander. MacArthur Gateway. Okay, we have to lay in a new course through the galaxy, please. Galactic map. We are going to lay in a course for the Cubeo system. Show me all the powers in power play. Show me all the headquarters. Aisling Duval at System Cubeo. Traditionally, this system is patrolled by 3 Majestic-class Imperial warships. Luckily, I'm on good terms with the Empire at the moment. I'm about to be graduated from the rank of Knight to Baron. Of course, I started this game and got in good with the Federation, so I'm already an Admiral in the Federation. Have you got Triple Elite yet, or are you still working on that?
I'm a very slow Elite player. So no.
So no, not yet. Alright. Alright then. Launching. Course laid in for Cubeo.
I need a lead on this guy's targeting. Oh, freaking.
Engage engines ahead 1/3. Retract landing gear. We're exiting through the mail slot, and full engines, all ahead flank. Pitch angle up. Ship detected, jumping away. Nansapwe. 39.2 light years, engage drive. Mass lock in effect. Computer, increase engine output. Mass lock disabled. FSD charge in effect. Frame per shift drive engaging in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, jump. Welcome to the Nansapwe system. Changing course to the LRE system, 37.7 light years, distance engage drive in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drive engaging. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jump. Standbys as a name system back to 1/3 on throttle. We have DeLucas Enterprise locking on destination. Reorienting craft and system, DeLucas Enterprise, 300 light seconds. Closing. 290. 280. 270. Still traveling at 12C and climbing. 10, 9, 8, 7.
No fire, no fire, no fire. Oh.
Twelve, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is a planet with a toxic atmosphere. Elri Alpha 7. DeLucas Enterprise is a Coriolis class starbase. It's a water world. I find water worlds fascinating. Can you imagine an entire planet covered by ocean?
Subnautica 2.0.
We might have one in the star system. The Jupiter's moon Europa may in fact be an ice-encrusted water world. In which case we should probably find lots of life there. A mission is being organized by NASA to find out. I find space phenomena so fascinating.
Dude, this sucks. I just got my whole entire right wing shot out, my engine shot out, my two other guns shot out, and my landing gears jammed.
What's this?
Worth my whole entire my aircraft. It just got its right wing got shot out, its tail got shot out, its engine got shot out, two of its guns shot out, and then the landing gear jammed on me, so I had to make a crash landing and died.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, I'm playing War Thunder.
Yeah. It's a World War II sim, isn't it?
Yeah, except you can fly planes and crap.
Yeah, no, I'd expect so. By the time I was in my late teenage years to early 20s, we had games for the Amiga that allowed you to simulate FA-18s landing on aircraft carriers in the ocean and stuff, so played lots of that. They seemed pretty realistic at the time, but the graphics probably sucked compared to what you've been exposed to. Then again, an aircraft carrier is just a slab of metal out in the middle of the ocean. It's not really that hard to model. Auto dock in progress. Entering mail slot. Landing on bay 24. Soft seal in approximately 10 seconds. Landing gear deployed. Soft seal dock. Mark. DeLucas Enterprise. Hard seal. Entering hangar. Starport services. Full refuel complete. There are 4 jumps from Cubeo. Aisling Duval's capital world. We need no further refueling. We can get there on all the fuel we have left. That's good. I would hate to have to call the fuel rats. That's embarrassing. Launching craft. Landing gear retracted. Okay, all head flank out the mail slot with this Anaconda cruiser. Flip around, flip around.
Be on the lookout for any oncoming traffic, Commander.
We are coming around the other side of the Coriolis starport. Oh, hey, this isn't right. That isn't correct. Set course for Cubeo. Done. Shuhui sector. Or OQs in Quebec, Bravo 5-4. Jumping.
See, the crazy part is that War Thunder's got like even naval battles, and you can also have submarines.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so make sure you watch out for them subs, yo.
So, what do the subs do with aircraft? Do they launch like missiles on them, or like?
They just don't get really messed with. Alright, welcome to the horrifying.
Does this take place in the current day, or is it ancient warfare?
Well, it starts out like with basic World War II stuff, like starting World War I, World War II.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then it goes all the way up to modern, I think. So.
Oh, okay. Well, modern submarines could launch missiles on you.
Yeah, they can. But I think this one's more about, like, when you use a submarine, you're using it to, like,
Yeah, I mean, the best that the World War II U-boat could do to you is maybe shoot you down with a flak cannon or something on the bridge of the sub. That's about it. Jumping. We're on course for a Hipparco system. I don't know what the number is in the catalog. Holy shit, this sun is bright. See, in VR, the stars have gotten so bright, I think it's damaging my eyes. I mean, Christ, it's like looking at the sun. Yikes. You'd think in the year 3000 they had tinted glass or something. 34.7 light year Shuwei sector, Delta, Gulf, Oscar, Bravo, 6-0. Engaging FSD. This is an M red dwarf star. Most of the galaxy stars are M red dwarfs. Earth star is the Sun, which is not an M red dwarf. It is a G-class solar star. Although M red dwarfs are still big nasty balls of fusion. Okay, we're at our final jump for the Cubeo system, 22.7 light years. Plotting jump now.
Yeah, it's World War I, alright, because it's the fact that one torpedo pretty much kills a battleship.
Yeah. Yeah, the World War II was the big war where the battleships that had ruled the waves in World War I took second seat to the aircraft carrier, which became the main flagships of any given navy in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Even Canada had an aircraft carrier back in those days. It was called the HMCS Bonaventure. It does not have an aircraft carrier at the moment because we cannot afford one. They are billions and billions and billions of dollars. And putting all that at risk is very, well, risky. Unless you absolutely have to. They're also typically crewed by 5,000 people and need rail cannons and other advanced technology to be properly defended. And our ranking allies, the United States, wants to keep that technology to itself for now. Although I suspect it won't be much longer. Oh god. Cubeo, which planet? Hang on. Move back to 1/3 on throttle. Course laid in for Chalomi orbital in system. All head flank. Distance 900 light seconds and closing. Imperial Security Service ISS is checking my ship out. That's nice, you do that. They're using pythons. In the name of God, why in the hell would the Empire's #2 heir apparent be using Python-class vessels to defend the system she calls home? Lord William Trait, approaching the homeworld of one Aisling Jival. Cubeo 3. Yes, another pleasant-looking Earth-type world. Statically generated by Galaxy Forge, or whatever the hell the name of this tool they use to build the galaxy is.
Hey, do you have War Thunder?
No.
Dang, I really need to ask like everyone because like it's crossplay, so.
It gets what? Crossplay?
It's crossplay.
Huh.
You have to have a naval to play naval, so.
Closing. Oh, we're under attack. It is an Alliance ship. Hang on. I'm going to escape the vector because they're just going to scan me. They're not going to attack, but they are interdicting. I've escaped interdiction. Back to 1/4 on drive. See, Cubeo 3 is full of people, but it's not like billions of people don't live there. I don't think. 10,000 kilometers from station. 4,000. 3,000. 2,000. And 1,000 kilometers. 700 closing. 594 kilometers. Coming out of Translate Drive. Oh my. There's a shipyard here right next to the base with Majestic class warships in orbit of the starbase. God, I love the design of the Majestic battle cruisers though. They're so awesome. They really look like a pleasure cruiser, but they're military.
If you need pleasure, just call me. Lol.
Okay.
Oh, snap. Someone got me a fire.
Okay, and close. Hang on.
One sec.
Enter hangar. Starport services. Chalomi orbital. Fuel. That's a very imperial looking pose. Overseer Jamie Olson. Stand by, we have to look at this other system to know if it's correct for us to take a certain kind of materials over other kinds of materials. HIP 1572. We have 77,000 preparation points. Media program, yes or no? Being prepared.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
What's up, my narc? My narcissist.
Well,
I
I've got
can't.
all the media resources I'm supposed to have to convert this system over to Aisling Duval's rule. 101 Aisling media materials. And I'm going to sell all the junk that I brought back from the Guardian Space mission, including the ancient relic and all the other useless shit. And yourself?
I know I'm lovely, thank you.
Would you like an ancient totem?
Yes, I would love an ancient totem.
If only.
If only.
If only I had a real ship that matched the one that I'm flying.
If only I actually had cords for my ear. Ooh, there's some cords. Sweet baby Jesus.
Outfitting.
Let's see if these ones work. Do they work? No. Where does that work?
I have the same problem. I have all these fucking like headsets and buds and things that just don't work anymore for some reason.
Ah, jeez.
Cat was chewing on them or something happened to them.
Yeah.
Crew lounge. No, we'll take the pretty boys that I picked up at some random base. The Imperial Princeling that I found.
Princeling?
Well, I mean, a lot of the images look kind of generic in this game. Like when you see like a portrait of any of your crewmen, they're like, you know, you can't really tell if they're male or female. They're kind of generic. So this guy looks male, but
I look for boobs.
Yeah, well, that's if they have a chest, then you can kind of tell. But other than that, some of the men look kind of generic, or if the women are not very well endowed themselves, then it gets problematic because you can't. Are you a man or a woman? Like which?
Hermaphrodites.
Which gender do you identify with?
Both.
Both. Okay. Oh, that's fine. That's a valid choice. Unusual, but valid. Starport services.
It works. I love how I just like, so I decided to like, on my server, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I have like gazillions of like just chat rooms and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, okay, here's the thing. Like it looks really disorganized, but it actually isn't. It's just that I just think of a lot of things that I know I'm going to use chat channels for, so I just make a lot of chat channels.
Well, I have Elite, I have C# programming, I have political studies, I've got, you know...
Yeah, but I'm like talking about like the Discord and stuff, so it's like...
Yeah.
It's like I have like a freaking whole entire, like, just... I think it's like 6 checks channels just made for information and stuff. It's like there's information like forms, fill out forms, like the actual form thing. Like that's what I mean by the fill out form. And then you got like whatchamacallit, service things, service of terms, blah 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 blah, for like anything that I'm using for copyright claim. Because it is a streaming server as well. But I got like a whole bunch of friggin' information stuff in there. And I don't know what to do with it.
I suppose I could like use a product like SharePoint or TeamViewer, which are both free, to take all of my Discord crap and put it, like, find the web links for it, and then put that in a folder somewhere online so that I just use the cloud to, like, access Discord or something. But I just remember where everything is.
I am a cloud fool.
The cloud, man. It's the cloud. It's the latest buzzword. Don't worry, by the time you graduate, it'll Or by the time you get your own university degree, if you head that way, they'll have invented some other term that will be dominating technology. Although I strongly recommend whatever career you choose, you get a good, solid backing in technology, because this is not going to go away. Shipyard. Do I want the shipyard? I don't know. I don't think so. What do I want? What do I need? Who do I need it for? Okay, we're going to go and reinforce defenses on Planet 2, which is Hipparcos 1597, I think is the name of it. HIP 1572. HIP 1572 is currently under contest. It is next.
You talk a lot. That's the fun part about you. I'm talking to someone constantly. Always talking to someone constantly. It's nice.
Well, I find it helps me organize my thoughts.
Good.
I could just, I guess, get whatever there's a computer voice interface for Elite called what's it called now? Command something or other, or Game Command or whatever. Anyway, you basically speak to your computer and it executes a script in control bindings that lets you do stuff in Elite. My friend, I don't know if you've met him, Commander Esquadle. He's in this channel sometimes. He's in South Dakota as well, so it's pretty amazing. But anyway, he has this interface, and it's pretty awesome. It's like talking to the computer in Star Trek. Yep, okay, we have all of our media materials. Computer, laying a course out. Launch. Chalomi orbital launch. Engaged. So is it like normal yet for you? Like, do you consider it normal to, like, when you go to school, associate with other people there, or do you just or you tend to be more reserved and just not really talk to people? And
you mean extrovert or introvert?
Yeah, exactly. Landing gear retracted. Engines all ahead flank.
I know that's like an obvious question, but it's really hard to answer because...
Well, you might not know yet.
No, because like I talk to everyone, but then like if I'm with like a certain group, I just don't want to talk to anybody else with that group. Like I'll literally straight up just avoid people.
So you find it more comfortable to talk to people online, in other words?
No, necessarily. If I'm not with someone directly or a group of people directly, then I'm very indirect about my conversations.
Okay.
So to speak, I'm an extrovert when I don't have anyone to associate with. But if I have someone a big enough group to associate with, I'm an introvert to everyone else. Because I focus on that group because supposedly they're supposed to be my friends and they would understand me more versus some random person.
I suppose. It depends on a variety of different social rules that are not set in stone, God knows. I've always found people very difficult, but I've tried to be an extrovert. I haven't always succeeded.
And that's okay.
Ah! Sun, bright, large fusion ball.
Of hot gas.
Of hot gas and plasma. And it is very hot. And get away from it quickly. Alright, we have to go to one of these planets, but I don't know which one. Hang on. go to Cannon
It's a good
Market.
one.
Well, there's a starport here. We'll go to Cannon Market first. System is in conflict. I'll likely be attacked before I get to the starport. That's okay. I'm flying an Anaconda that's armed to the fucking teeth. I'll blow the hell out of anyone who crosses me, but...
Oh, hey, Farmir.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Randomly shows up. I'm just joking.
What you guys doing in Elite?
I'm in Elite at the moment. I'm trying to deal with Angeline Duval again. So,
okay. What do you need help with?
I don't need help. I'm not sure if Niv needs help, but...
Okay.
Did you need my help with Minecraft?
No, I didn't.
You did not, okay. I heard today you might need my help. If you do, it's available.
Thank you.
Yes.
I think the best way to do Ashling Naval is just, there's a system right from her capital.
Cubeo.
People, yeah.
And
So you just pick up. Yeah.
I'm lucky right now because there's a planet right next door to her capital planet. It's in conflict right now. I'm probably going to be attacked any second. But it's she's trying to take it over, and for some reason she hasn't yet. There's 808 million people system-wide, so it's pretty well populated.
Yeah. I'm currently pledged to her, so...
Yeah. Well, I think we all, by default, sort of drift into Evol's sphere of influence, and then it's not like an official thing for the squadron, but it's it's just something that we do because she has the best shields.
Yeah. That's why I've always stuck with her. Like after we're going back to her.
Yeah.
There's access to those great shields.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get in fact, that's why I'm doing this right now, is that I want some extra shields for some new ships I'm building.
Yeah.
And adding to my fleet, so...
The shield for the Federal Corvette is probably going to be the
oh, yeah.
Expensive. It was pretty expensive for me, but now with mining it's not really that expensive. You just do like an hour or two of mining and you can pay for it.
The Squaddle says that I should get the 7A shield, or the 8A shield for that, instead of the 7C, the Biweave, because the Biweave will not regenerate all that much faster, frankly, on that particular class of ship, so...
It depends on your build.
Yeah. But, I mean, mine's right now configured as an asteroid miner. Like, that's what my Corvette's for. Yeah. So, auto-dock engaged.
Yeah, you probably want the prismatic shields. They're really good for mining because you'll hit something and then they're like, oh, that tickled.
Yeah.
You can keep on mining.
Yeah. But I need to build at least one Corvette, or if I do well with the Empire right now, I'll get the cutter, and then...
Yeah, the cutter, I don't recommend it.
The squad was crazy about the cutter, I think.
Yeah.
He's like all pro cutter.
But it's the cost of running it. You smack it into something and you're paying like $1 million just to fix it.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to take...
Hey. Solution, just make it a shield tank, okay? That freaking thing has a condom made out of literally unobtainium. That's what I call shields, condoms now, because, you know.
Yeah, my Federal Corvette's a shield tank.
No, it's got one big condom on it too. Jeez.
Yeah.
Who else is in here? Oh no, this is the music bad. I'm like, I'm seeing multiple voices.
But I don't know about I have an Imperial cutter, and every time I fly it, it's like it's not as maneuverable as the Corvette. It's like if I run it into something, or
It's faster. Like it can go faster, just can't maneuver as well.
Yeah. Literally everything else can outrun that thing.
I don't really want the cutter for any reason other than just to like have it that I can buy it. Like it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
It's a trophy. I don't really need it all that much.
It is a trophy ship, but at the same time,
like a yacht.
it's kind of like pain in the ass ship.
Yeah.
It's a yacht. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Yeah, that's all I really wanted for is just to put it on the shelf and have it sitting in the shipyard somewhere, and that's about it. I don't really intend to fly it anywhere. Although I do want, at the moment, I'm on the crest of getting promoted to Baron, and that will give me access to the Imperial Courier, I believe.
I hate when this thing does this.
So I want that ship because it looks cool. They
do look cool. It's just like I think the best Imperial ships that actually like are combat or viable are the Imperial Eagle, the Imperial Courier, and the Imperial Clipper.
The only time I've been successfully PvP'd by an Imperial ship was a courier. That's why I'm interested in it. I just want to see, okay, that thing can take out an Anaconda. That's a worthwhile investigation to have. Like, yeah.
Because the reason those things are so OP is that you can put enhanced thrusters on them. They're small enough to do that.
Okay.
And then it's entirely a speed build, and with rails and stuff like that. And then like the guard, since we have the Guardian power plants.
Yeah.
You can house everything into that small little ship. And the cockpit kind of looks like you're flying in like an F-16. It's amazing.
So you can understand my enthusiasm for that particular ship, but...
Yeah.
Ooh, I need to get the Mamba.
The Mamba is like... It's good for PvP.
It's for Lance, but worse. It overheats.
It can't. It goes in a straight line. It can't really. Get somersault, like, you know what I mean, like around. It can't do the full circle and go around.
Yeah, which is why it should be called a racing ship.
Yeah,
which it is. It's supposed to be. So I developed. So I was like really bored one day. And in my Discord server, I made a really private channel, and I put a whole bunch of weird images in there, and I'm looking at them right now. I'm like, what the heck is this stuff? Like I've got like stuff from like 2012.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's got like a weird mix of like, oh well, okay, there's pornography in here. I didn't expect that, but all right. I'm deleting that. No, because it's like a private chat. It's called Nivs PR, I believe. Yeah, it's called Nivs PR. And I had this literally I think I had this 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like the channel, because the channel's changed, but I just had that like in there, and there's stuff. So there's like literally like pictures from middle school. Holy crap!
So you had a pornographic channel in Discord in middle school. That's interesting.
No, it's like there's there's like pornography in here, and then there's like pictures from middle school, and then there's like it's like really weird. It's like someone threw. It's like I threw every single like image out of my photo album and just tossed it in here.
Oh, okay.
It's so disorganized. I'm deleting all of it though because I'm cleaning it out. But
there's probably better pornography available now anyway.
You know what's funny? You're right.
Sure, go get a copy of, or get online access to
no.
Club
My goodness.
Magazine or something.
Guess what I found underneath that?
What? I'm almost afraid to ask.
It says it's literally just label. It's private for me, and it's like a not safe for work channel.
Oh yeah.
No, it's just like just for me though. Like all the stuff I'm looking at is just for me.
Mm.
All right, I'm going in it. Holy shit! What the heck am I looking? What did I ever do like 3 years ago? There is literally a woman getting fucked by 3 guys in the same hole. Like that does not work out.
Ought to be 16 or 12 or whatever it was you were again.
No, I have a limit, but this is just bizarre. Oh my goodness! Please no, not this again. No, I can't believe I still have this stuff. Jeez, was one horny. I'm still horny, but still, I was way horny back in middle school. Jeez.
I didn't get really horny till I was 18. I've always felt like I just bloomed late. Like everyone else is going through all these.
I feel like you did because
I don't know.
Every day I masturbate.
No, but seriously, honestly, people born since 2000 seem to be getting younger and younger in terms of sexual proclivities, right? So you have people
because
you hear stories
in the food.
No, you hear stories about 8-year-olds experiencing puberty, right? Well, how the hell can you have an 8-year in 1978 when I was 8 years old? There was no such thing. No one 8 years old was having puberty, okay? And now it's a common occurrence. So what happened? Did the food supply get contaminated with something? Did chemistry or something get polluted the atmosphere? What the hell happened?
You can either, for women, they can the way they work is that they will start hitting sexual maturity earlier, depending on the amount of
but
fat
no,
on the body.
these are guys. I mean, I'm not talking about
these are
women.
guys.
These are guys,
well,
right?
I think it's more about hormones than...
who claim that they're experiencing puberty at age 8, and I'm like, you have no fucking idea. You couldn't.
Are they guys or children? I'm
Children.
Okay.
Male children. And I mean, I was much younger when I heard these stories, of course, and it was just I couldn't relate. Did something happen to the water supply while I was not looking, or maybe I came from a healthier environment?
I experienced
I don't think it's normal to be 8 years old and experiencing puberty. Anyway.
I experienced it. I think when I was 10. I started to, but then it was
that would be extremely early in my experience.
Yeah, but it wasn't the full off blown puberty. It was I started to get armpit hair and stuff like that, and that was it. And then during middle school is when I started getting all the sexual urges. I still got them.
And you will for the rest of your life, and all odds are they never really stop.
And now I'm actually growing a beard. And I hate myself for it.
At 16, you have a beard, okay. Yeah,
not a full-blown beard, but you get what I mean. I'm starting to grow, in the area of a beard hair there. You get what I mean.
Uh-huh.
Peach fuzz, but, more than peach fuzz. It's, black, thick hair.
Well, if you have black hair, it's going to be more visible anyway, but... I don't know, it just seems to me like something environmentally changed, and human beings, you heard about the stories about all these frog tadpoles that would be I don't know, receding in age, or
maybe it was, I don't know. Wait, hold on. Let me do backtrack, because then I can figure it out with math my actual age. So...
Well, it's 2018 now. If you're 16 now, in 2012... 4 years ago, right? So,
I was
6 years ago.
I was 11, 10-ish when I first started hitting
Still,
it.
it's very early. Like I said, I was late. I came in late. It was 18. I wasn't even interested in women until, I think I went on my first serious dates at age 22. And
No, like I wasn't interested in women until like this year.
You probably
Other times,
date
it's
earlier
like-
than I did, but that would be.
I don't date though. Like I don't like dating. I've
No?
tried like 3 times and it's so stupid to me.
It seems awkward, or.
No, it's because no one knows how to date. Like dating is supposed to where you're supposed to get to no. Okay, hear me out. Everyone's like, oh, it's like if you have a really deep love for someone, yes, but also it's about like getting to know each other and see you have the same likings, so that way you can build understanding. That way you can build a relationship.
Yeah.
Well, when you say no to someone, so that way you don't freaking ruin their lives or make a wrong mistake.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's a whole flip out and it's the end of the world. So that's why I don't like it.
Yeah, I try to keep the family out of it as long as possible traditionally, but.
And like, this year, this girl liked me, and I said, well, I don't like you this way, but can we still be friends? And she just hates me for a reason. I'm just like, you can't change my opinion. Like, that's just so stupid to me. Like, if you dislike my opinion, then you don't respect me.
No, but there are
Therefore, I don't like you.
There are expectations in someone expressing interest, right? So there are three traditional rules. Either you want to set yourself up to fall in love and marry or something. B, you want to date and you just want to experience the dating lifestyle, going out, having fun, meeting new people. Or C, you just want to have sex, basically, and you just want to get together and experience a physical distraction, right? Those are the 3 sort of modes that I've identified so far. And it usually falls into one of the 3 categories, and depending on what the expectations of the other person are, maybe you might piss them off, you might not, depends. Depends how you approach it. It depends what their personality is like, too. They said there are no hard and fast rules.
As long as they don't got any STDs, I'm fine. Or STIs. Woo, let's go. I'm joking.
Well, I've experienced 2 of the 3. I can't really say I've ever fallen in love with anyone truly before. The person who came the closest just screwed it up right at the end. I don't talk to her anymore, but that was a while ago.
I use people sometimes too. Like the first person I ever dated, I used them to so they would stop dating my person I hated, so that way they looked bad. And the best part is he fell right into it and started harassing her. So I got to play like big boy.
Oh God.
or protector.
Yeah.
Whatever, and then I dumped her, and like 6 months later, I was like, okay. And apparently in middle school, 6 months is like legendary time, so I guess I was legendary. Oh well.
Maybe at that point, I don't know. I have nothing.
No, so
I have nothing to compare with because I would never have even thought about women at that age. So I wasn't thinking about anything sexual at that age.
Not like we did anything. We just chat. She like just came over and said hi, and I was just like, "Yo, what's up?"
Yeah. Well, that could
legit. That's legit dating in middle school. It's not dating. It's hot. It's saying hello.
Well, very rarely, and at the outset, starts off being like raw sex. There's a couple of cases I can maybe name where it turned into that, but
I remember there was raw sex in my middle school bathroom. That was awesome. I caught that. I didn't see anything. I heard it. It was awesome. I reported it.
Well, that might be going a little too far, but
I reported it to them, and they literally like the announcement came on. And it was like,
the announcement, okay.
Please, yeah, like there was an announcement. It was like because they announce stuff whenever one person does wrong, they gotta tell everyone else. Be like, bathrooms are used for using the restroom, not having sex children. That's legit what they said almost. It was so
You're kidding. Oh my
No, I'm
god.
not kidding. I'm not kidding. That's like almost exactly what they said.
Oy.
I found like so many freaking cigarettes in our bathrooms in middle school. It's crazy.
Yeah. That's a bit different. That's experimenting with, like, I don't know, tobacco. It's an ancient product.
Yeah, well, not necessarily experimenting when you find it every day, but you know what I've
No, but they do put an addictive chemical in it. It makes you crave for it daily. So, I mean, it's
nicotine, right?
not that surprising that you would find it in the bathrooms on a daily basis. Of course,
It's a carcinogen. It's meant to kill you.
Well, that's why, like, when the Indians first introduced this came over, and we're like, here you go, smoke this and stuff. Everybody, like, they wanted it. That's what made it explode. That's because it's an addictive chemical. It's an addictive plant.
Yeah.
But if I want to be an addictive plant.
But it doesn't help that they try to put, like, more addictive chemicals in the frickin' filter and in the tar and then all the other crap. And they've researched it for 60 years, 60, 70 years, you know, plus. There's a huge... Go ahead.
That's why my theory of, like, why they haven't banned cigarettes yet is because they want population control. It's like they have it so legal is because it has all those negative effects. Keeps the population down.
Maybe.
That sounds like entirely morbid, but
it sounds almost as paranoid as me sometimes.
Yeah. But it makes sense.
It also makes sense.
To a degree, I don't know how naive I'm being. I hope it's not the case, of course, but you never know nowadays. I've heard so many damn stories at this stage. I believe almost anything. Yeah.
Trim. Hold on. Just wait for this sound for 1 second.
What? Are you playing it through something?
Just wait. Just be quiet. Just quiet. Trust me. Just wait a minute.
He's playing noises.
You hear that?
No.
It's no one talking. It's awesome. I'm joking. I'm messing with you guys.
Yeah. He hasn't received the speech yet, Faramir. You're going to have to give it to him, I think.
Yeah, if I wanted to not listen to people, I would go on my own Discord and play this music.
Well, that's true, actually. Yeah, you're in chat, so what else do you want to listen to other than people talking?
Bamboo music. That's what I'm here for. I'm joking. I can play that in my Discord.
Who played this?
I did.
Oh, okay. It was actually pretty relaxing starting off, and then I had to mute it because it got pretty annoying. Like, just repetitive.
Well, it is flute music. What else do you have?
Rock, metal.
Exactly. I'm trying to relax here.
Oh, God.
Metal relaxes me, though.
What? None of your music relaxes you? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. So what does it do to you?
Do what relaxes me? Like I felt like in high school, I fell asleep to like death metal. It was funny.
That's interesting. I mean, there is an argument there that, you know, like, if we take Bohemian Rhapsody and stuff that I've been listening to for Christ knows how many decades, that, you know, that stuff can be relaxing, I think. I find it can be, but...
Yeah, I've been listening to that too, and it just relaxes me.
Okay, change the music.
It's okay. I had muted. You can enjoy it whenever. So.
No, I'm switching to actual music, not just bamboo music no more. Football. Moves in spaces, minimum waste, and maximum joy. I cannot find a remote. Where is it? I need to turn off my TV.
Return to
Take God desire by your heart.
No. Coriel, no. No, this is all wrong. Oh, by the way, I just got my first Guardian fighter. My god, does that sound cool. If you ever fly the fighter. Oh my god, that just made my day so much better, listening to that.
Don't have an orgasm, please.
Listening to that hum. I found that very relaxing.
I cannot find my TV remote. Where the heck did that go?
Sure.
Till I go.
Back this from out of the desert.
Speaking of tobacco, my weekend cigarette is on now.
Oh, I found it. Sweet.
Beg your pardon. Our economy is currently booming. Well, then why are you engaged in a civil war? No. There's no interstellar factors. Okay, so let's take our power contact and dump all this propaganda into their lab. 101 units, deliver.
Your Frontier is going to drop new content in 2020.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote a huge blog article about it, and yeah, I mean, I haven't done any writing in a long time. I always find writing very, very enjoyable. I always have. I'm a software developer that actually enjoys writing, and that is unusual in and of itself. But I actually got to write again, and there were a couple people that picked it up in Twitter, and they were both software developers, and they seemed to agree with me. There was a lot of people dumping all over Frontier that don't really understand what they're trying to do, I don't think, and why they're going to take till 2020 to do all this glut of new content all at once. But yeah, I can kind of understand, given the nature of the game, its limitations, the fact that you have like planets with 20,000 colonists on it, with like, you know, cities dotting the back of the dark side of the planet, and you're like, where the hell are all these cities here? There's only 20,000 of you. Brandon, Manitoba is bigger, you know, like what the hell is going on? And so they need to do a revamp, is my conclusion, and that's what they're doing. And it's a big job, and it has to be done.
They still need to give us fleet carriers. They said they would do it.
Yeah, I know. They did break a few promises this way, but I don't think they knew ahead of time that there were limits that they were setting on this particular architecture, and they realized it, and then they kind of told people, they did what they said they would never do: set expectations at one level and under-deliver. And that's what happened, so that's why everyone's all pissed off, but they'll get over it, hopefully.
Yeah, we just need more content. The existing players already went through it all in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, I mean, but there's new content coming. In a couple weeks from now, they'll have their first installment of the bi-weekly missions. So that'll give you 2 weeks to, you know, dig through these missions. And you know, don't forget they could introduce something like Raxla as a big draw,
Yeah.
right? Because it was low,
yeah.
and they could throw that in there right before they do their release, say in early 2020.
Because right now they're losing player base.
They are, yeah. There's definitely a bleed. But they can afford to lose a certain number of people and still be profitable, I think, realistically, in 2020. Yeah. They've obviously made this decision with a nose to business and an understanding they're going to lose some players temporarily. But if they stem the player bleed successfully, the strategy might pay off. We'll see. It's a risk.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the alternative right now? Play Star Citizen? I guess so. I mean, if you want to do that. You know, there's not much out there right now. And the consoles don't have any competing products until after mid-2020 anyway, and they looked at the market to get that conclusion, so...
Yep.
I think there's some hope that they have a fairly sound strategy. Depends on what they come up with, of course. But if it's anywhere near as innovative as the first release of Elite was, then Elite Dangerous was, then they'll be successful.
Yeah.
I mean, they had over 1 million players at the beginning, so I have never played a space sim with 1 million fucking players in it. It's unbelievable. And don't forget, we haven't paid for content for 2 years now. Those of us who haven't. So I mean, it's all been freebies.
Yeah.
How can you complain? How can you argue with something that's free? Here, play this. Okay, you know, sure, whatever.
Not really complaining. It's just the bugs, the rampant bugs that like they had like all that time to fix and patch through.
They'll continue working on that, they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll continue working on that, but they'll reduce the staff count that's devoted to it.
The Thargoids seem to be an annoyance now because nobody's really going out and killing them except for like the.
There's no point. You don't gain anything. You just pretty much lose more.
Yeah.
Realistically,
that's what I mean. Like if they have a really bad issue with bounty hunting and all this other crap where they don't have enough. They have a lot of risk, but they don't have enough rewards. So there's no point in bounty hunting, and there's no point in doing Thargoid killing missions. There's just no point. You don't get enough.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unless there are rewards.
3/4 of my wages made on bounty hunting in like 2-3 hours because you only 2 million. I'm spending like 3/4 of that usually repairing, stocking up, and I don't know, buying a new module. That's it.
But I'm getting very close to triple elite, and one of the goals of triple elite means I have to become elite in combat. Right now, I'm ranked just below dangerous. I'm at 95% or something.
That's what I mean. There's no
cash incentive, but there's prestige incentive, I guess.
Well, starting out when I was a new player, and then the cash incentive was it was fun. I like doing bounty hunting. It actually paid for my stuff.
Yeah.
And then I did that enough to where I got to cargo missions, and I got my Type 6.
Yep.
And loaded that up and doing the cargo.
Yep. I was there too.
Wait, there's an Alliance Crusader?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Okay, tell me what the heck this thing is.
That's a new advanced version of the Alliance designed ship. It's got 4
the Alliance
pods.
Chieftain. It goes Alliance Chieftain, Alliance Crusader, and Alliance Challenger.
No, what's this pad size? Medium?
Pad size? I think it's like medium.
Yeah, it goes as high as medium, I think. For that.
Is this supposed to be better or something?
It's a heavier class of ship. Yeah. It's like the in-between.
The Challenger is the best armored, I think. And then there's a medium range one and there's a light one, which goes to speed. But in the Alliance... Go ahead.
the heaviest alliance ship of that class. It's like a good heavy fighter. It has a lot of gun placements on it. The in between can deploy a fighter, which is
What
really
is the in
good.
between? Like, give me names. There's the Alliance Chieftain,
Alliance
Challenger,
Chieftain, Challenger, and then
and Crusader.
the biggest one. The biggest one I think is the Crusader.
Yeah,
But
the
what is the
Crusader, okay.
best?
Well,
The best
depends on what you're
Or
doing.
midway.
depends on what you want
What's
to
the
do.
midway? What's the lowest? What's the highest?
Like it really depends because the highest one, the big bulky one, is like for dishing out a whole bunch of damage and then taking all
The
that
highest one
damage.
is the Crusader, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
the medium one is like fire support, where you have a fighter and a whole bunch of guns on it, but it's still maneuverable. It's in between, and then the Alliance Chieftain is the fighter ship, like.
But I
The
just
PvPer.
destroyed, in my Anaconda, I just finished off an NPC Alliance Crusader class vessel by overwhelming its defenses and its armor.
Those numbers are so stupid to me.
Why?
Because I'm looking at them, and Chieftain's the cheapest. But then you go to the Challenger and Crusader. The Challenger is actually the most expensive.
Yeah.
Yep. Get what you pay for. Lots of money in armor.
But the Alliance Chieftain, I use it as my PvP build. That thing is amazing. I love that thing.
Yeah, I'm still at a toss-up between the Alliance Chieftain and the Imperial Courier for that kind of,
Alliance Chieftain all the way. I would go with Chieftain.
Mm-hmm.
Interior drives, grade 5s. And
I do like the idea of dropping a fighter, because the fighter, with the Guardian fighters, you got a serious distraction. This thing's shooting pulse fucking cannons at you, and they're gonna hit, and they're gonna hurt, and they're gonna distract you. So it all depends on what your combat approach is. I like overwhelming an opponent with many different angles of attack.
I want to own one of these bad boys, but I just hate the cockpit placement.
What, on the bridge? That's sort of the natural place. Looking around.
On the freaking
Well, they're also made by
Chieftain.
Lakon.
On the Chieftain, but Alliance ships. I don't like their. See, I don't like the cockpit placement when it's like out like that. I like it more like almost like a fighter jet.
So you'd want the Courier.
I like that, but I don't like the Chieftain more when it comes to combat because how more maneuverable it is.
Oh yeah.
Well,
That's why I would choose it over because in the end, it doesn't matter about your cockpit. It really more matters about like how it plays, but still.
Then again, if I take a Crate Phantom, which is a very lightly armored craft, it's an exploration vessel primarily. I can jump 70 light years. I'll out-jump you, and in system, I can go better than 500 meters per second. I'm gonna outrun you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like, no one has ever been able in PvP or in NPC play been able to take that ship down.
Did they choose the Imperial Clipper?
What's that?
What?
No, they didn't. Never mind. Where's the Merlin? What the hell is this thing?
Like, there are ships you cannot chase down with Alliance vessels, no matter how maneuverable they are. You do need, sometimes, you need the speed. But there aren't many ships that give you that option. Like I said, the Courier does happen to be, I think, one of them. But I don't know if it'll go 500. I have to...
I can chase you down in a Clipper. Imperial Clipper.
Yeah, in a Clipper you could, definitely. Yeah. Would you be able to dole out enough damage?
Are the Guardian fighters really good against normal ships?
No.
No. Okay.
They have Guardian weapons on them. They're really good. They're designed to take out Thargoids.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how come the Guardian weapons like do more than the fungus weapons?
Because they're actually designed for it. Like, we have a limited understanding of the Thargoids. The Guardians have been around for like 2 millennia.
Well, millions. They were around for millions,
Yeah.
for almost a million years. Their
Yeah.
species endured, it's thought. But
Yeah.
Hey, did they add any new hard points?
they what?
Do what?
Any new hard points?
Add new hard points? What do you mean?
Weapons.
Yeah.
What are they called?
Guardian Plasma Charger, Guardian Shard Cannon, Guardian
Plasma cannon.
Plasma Cannon, I think it is.
Wait,
yeah.
these are new?
Yeah.
Or
No.
Well,
Not new.
they're new since the beginning of the game, but they're not. They're newer, but they're not brand new anymore.
oh wait, when were they released?
I'm not even following.
Probably a year ago, I think.
Yeah, okay, then they haven't added anything new besides just the new mining stuff.
No,
When it comes to the
the
hard
mining
box.
the mining stuff is the newest stuff. Yeah, that's right. Because that's all with Beyond.
Mining can get you 1 billion in a day, basically.
Yeah, if you do deep core mining.
Yeah, if you can get deep core mining. See, sometimes you can't always get deep cores. So.
I always
You
get.
can always get this. Yeah, you can always.
Did they change the spawn rate? Because whenever I freaking went over to all the freaking high resource deep core mining sites, I could not find a single stupid
Well,
deep core.
you don't go to high res.
Not high res, like high concentration of deep core material. You know when you scan a ring, right? You get little plots, and
Yeah.
it tells you what material. Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Hot spots.
And hot spots. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, you just fly into the middle of them and you take your chances. I mean, you're not gonna. You have
Just hang out and you probe them, and yeah.
Yeah, it's an annoying, frustrating grind, but it does
It's
eventually.
honestly better than shooting pirates
Oh yeah, it's much faster.
because you do less.
You do less, but you earn more quickly over time. So
Yeah, it's stupid, and they should really bring mining back to the freaking thing it was.
Why?
it was slow
That
and
way-
pedantic before.
Yeah.
Because then it basically makes it where there's no point in doing bounty hunting.
Well, no, it's not true. There's still, like I said, I still do bounty hunting, even though I can do deep core, and I'm sure Faramir does as well. But
I want them to up to I want them to up like the amount of credits you get by like 4 times as much.
yeah, but credits aren't everything in life. I mean, the credits.
Credits are everything in life. I don't know about life.
Well, some people are of the view that yes, credits are everything in life as well. But
Dude, I only have 59 mil right now.
I have 500 million, and it's still
You
climbing.
probably do.
No, I
I
do.
have 500 million as well.
I have
I said that you do.
500,100,200 credits.
I haven't played this game in 1, 2, 3, 4 months. Jeez.
Well, get on it.
No.
Get on it, and you will have credits. Yeah, you can earn millions of credits an hour. You shouldn't be having any problem with that.
Ah, jeez. You know, I could literally just go to that one place where you just do transport missions and get like 1 million to 6 million, like 6 million per thing, per passenger.
Commander Dunk. Am I playing in open right now?
It's what's that place called? It's like near
California Nebula? Is that what you're thinking? Robigo,
Robigo.
Robigo, yeah, the Robigo run. Yeah.
Does that thing still work?
Yep,
Or did they
still
change
works.
it?
Nope.
Yeah, it still works, but nobody uses it much anymore because of deep core mining.
Earns more, slightly more quickly, but it's it's a little bit better. I was using it for a while, and then when deep core mining was introduced, I had to make a run back to the bubble and give that a go, and I was lucky I had some people who were willing to assist, and I learned how to do it, and then...
See, I like the passenger missions though. I just don't like how the fact that I don't like the regular ones. I like the repeater ones. The regular ones annoy me because I have to fly halfway across the galaxy. I mean the bubble.
The thing that was really frustrating for me about the California Nebula was that you'd fly through the bloody nebula and then you'd be attacked at some star system inside the nebula by pirates or whatever.
Yep.
Or you'd piss someone off at a base, and then the whole base is after you, and you'd have to make amends through interstellar factors, or fly back to the bubble and make amends, or do something like that. And then you could be allowed if you sheepishly went back in again. And that whole trek across, crisscrossing the cosmos like that, is just taking too damn long. But it did have its moments where I could earn $20 million a night or something, or 20 million credits a night.
Yeah, I never played. I never took those missions that you have to go billions of light years just to claim, drop the dude off and then come back.
Yeah.
Never did that because they get scanned and then you lose the mission, or you bump into somebody, you lose the mission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to make that run out to that stupid little blue star out in the middle of nowhere as one of the objectives that the passengers impose on you after the fact.
Or you're halfway to your point, the place, and they get angry with you because you can't provide a certain commodity.
Yeah.
And it's we're out in the middle of nowhere. Where do you think I'm gonna get this?
I know, and what are they doing? They hop into their escape pod and book out the window, and they're gone for the next 300 years because no one's going to be looking for them. And you're like, well, what did that achieve? You took a trip out into the middle of nowhere and ejected in your escape pod.
Yeah.
What did that do except get you put into hibernation sleep for the next God knows how many centuries? You'll wake up on the near side of 4000 AD, and everyone
that was a horrible driver. I was so much worth waiting to get rid of 300 years off my belt just for that.
Well, everyone is dead. You have no friends left. Everyone is dead. Your family doesn't even exist anymore because you're the last lone survivor. It fucks everything up. You can't just go to sleep for 10 centuries.
Oh well, who cares? They're rich, so they don't need family.
No, and they don't know where you are. You're floating around in the cosmos somewhere for God knows how long. I wouldn't want that for myself. I mean, even if I was...
How about we just go rescue them? Rescue them.
You can't, and you don't even have that option because they're emitting no energy except minimal life support to keep their heartbeat going at one beat every 5 minutes or whatever the hell the technology requires. So there's no energy signature to scan for. It's just until by pure happenstance or luck someone finds them. If they're lucky. Otherwise they'll just be out there forever and no one will ever find them. Who the hell knows? But it's a pretty dumb outcome anyway for a passenger, I think. But that's just my point of view.
Yeah. Yeah, I always thought it was kind of dumb too.
I can certainly relate, especially when you land at that base and you're a second away from landing. The scanner on the planetary base activates, and suddenly you lose 3 passengers who refuse. No, they didn't eject an escape pod, but they refuse to pay you for the trip. How the hell do they get off your ship? What? They just just make off with all the money and you get nothing? Well, there's ways around that. You charge up front, you know, and then you have their money, and
No, you just take off their dead corpse.
or that. I like that one. To be perfectly honest. Sorry, it's a little dark.
Well, it's like they board your ship, they want passage to somewhere, and they're like, okay, find the nearest station to drop me off, and I'll pay, and like I won't pay you. It's like, yes, you will. You'll pay me. I'm gonna partner you with sun, and you'll cook.
Or I'll just eject you into space right here. How's that sound?
Yeah.
No escape pod, just you, your body, and space.
Yeah.
How does that even work? I don't even know.
Hey, dumbass, I control your life support system.
I've got Remlock, you don't.
Alright, I'm gonna head out. I'm pretty tired.
Okay, take care. Have a good night.
Yeah, it's like,
oh God.
I have the power of reincarnation. You know, you can just die here.
I can turn off the life support. My spacesuit will protect me. What do you got?
Yeah.
I don't think your your imperial finery isn't going to save you.
Oh, I'm just gonna hit these heat sinks all over and over again, and then make the ship really cold.
Yeah. Oh dear Lord, it should be the pilot that's in control of the whole situation. So there should never be a case where a passenger refuses to pay you.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit disappointed by that too. Yes.
And it's also sad that like the highest paying passenger missions taking like all the way out to Colonia and back,
Yeah.
don't pay as much as mining.
No, that's true too. I'll pay you 15 million credits to take me out to Colonia. No guarantee you're going to pay me when you get there, but even if I do agree to this for some reason, you get out there and I could just stay here and make 15 times as much in the same time frame it'll take to get you out there. So, anyway, deep core mining all the way. Are you on Marcus's server right now?
No, I'm in open.
Oh, you're in open, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're tempting me already without saying another word. I wanna go.
Tempting what?
Oh, I wanna go and like find some PvP people that wanna just kill the hell out of you and just turn the tables on them.
Oh, so you're on PvP?
Not against like one another, but like against another pair that are doing this to other people. Because there's always someone out there that's doing this, and I just love turning the tables on them unexpectedly. So someone has
to do that.
Someone has to be bait though, and for the strategy to I have in mind to work, and I don't know if I want to be bait right now.
No. And you when you go up PvPing, you usually use like the least expensive ship.
Yeah.
Like when you're building, that's why you don't see them using Anacondas or Federal Corvettes or stuff like that. They use medium ships.
Yeah.
And the people that do use the big ones are just like, you're dumb.
Yeah. Well, obviously, because it's an obvious trap or whatever. But it's there's so many damn people that just wait by the stars, and it drives me crazy. They sit there and they wait by the arrival point in the star system, and then someone sure enough jumps in, and they're all over them, with 2 or 3 ships.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts.
I used to do that in like the Rubigo runs.
Mm-hmm.
I would sit on the star coming back from Robigo, the green or yellow K type star.
Yeah.
I could scoop it, and I could wait for people to jump back into the system. I'd interdict them and do that.
Yeah.
Like, because I knew they were going to be there. They don't go around. They don't plot their own course.
I started to do that at Shinra to Desra. I started to use the star against those guys, right? Because I would like come in, and then the first thing I did was turn towards the star. The last thing they would expect, like, what the hell is he doing, you know? And then I'd do an end run right at the rim of the corona around the star, and they would take the longer way around, and I'd escape that way by going perpendicular to the plane of the solar system, which is not in their interest because they want to remain there to capture the next guy in case I get away. Because that's easier. So
yeah, and you can always tell like if they're running PvP stuff because you get a scan in on them and then you look at their internals or like what they're running. If they're running like plasma accelerators, railguns, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Or a kind of combat, like a pure combat thing. When they're flying a medium ship, odds are they're PvPer.
Yeah. I mean, that's what surprised me about that one. And I didn't have a problem with this. One-on-one, I can accept defeat. Right? But when you have 2-on-1, if I'm in a medium ship, it seems a little bit, this isn't really fair. Like, you know, you're just camping a star and looking and hoping that a group doesn't jump in that will give you trouble. But
I've gone PvPing out a couple of times, and it's always good if you have a few seconds before the pack comes in to help, like a big ship.
Yeah.
So how you organize the targets is, I'm going to go after the big ship because the big ship can't maneuver as well, can't turn.
Right.
And then you take out that ship or make it jump away.
Yeah.
And then you can fight the other guys.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
But and that's what surprised me about this Imperial courier that came in God knows how long ago, but it was like, oh, I'm flying an Anaconda, and I'm being all shit hot and arrogant, and imagine that coming from me. And and sure enough, he comes in and just rips my shields apart with his first salvo. And I'm like, what the fuck just hit me? You know, like, what has this guy got? And he had like shock cannons and lasers and missiles and Christ knows what else. And then the rest of it hit, you know, like in the second salvo. And there was just no getting away from him. He kept on me, you know, just hounding as I jumped away with mass lock. And I eventually had to bow out because I was defeated.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. Because the Anaconda slow and everything. Most PvPers, if they're using salvos like what you described, they go through shields. They don't care.
Yeah.
Like the things they'll target is your shield generator, your FSB, or your thrusters.
Yeah, that's what and you do have a few precious seconds while the interface holds them up a little bit while they target specific systems, but not long. Doesn't take a skilled player doesn't take them very long at all to get through that. And depending on how fast they make it through, it's over. It can be over very quickly for an Anaconda. Now, NPCs, I got them pretty much beat every single time. But no matter how tough they are, there's been a couple that have come close, but they haven't with the upgrades recently. But they haven't been able to get through yet. But the PvPers are obviously more adaptive, much more intelligent, and have more experience because I'm still not elite, so I'm still learning.
I have deadly combat rank.
Yeah. So you're two ranks ahead of me at the moment, but about to be one.
Yeah.
And then you'll graduate to elite ahead of me, no doubt. But elite combat seems to be the hardest one to get.
Yeah, because you have to kill massacre a whole bunch of ships.
Yeah.
And they have to either have to be deadly or elite for you to actually get credit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. Have you been logging in lately too to see to talk to anyone here? Or?
Logging in here.
I know you've been missed. There've been people talking about you and saying, where the hell's Fairman? I said, I don't know. He hasn't. Haven't seen him. Go ahead.
I was at my girlfriend's house this weekend.
I think a Squaddle said something about that, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Like, my significant other's house. So, took her out on a date.
How'd it go?
At the National Science Museum. It was good. She liked it.
Well, that's good. Sounds positive.
Spent the night there like 2 days, so that was good.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite places in Houston. Like, the rest, everywhere around it kind of looks like shit, but the National Science Museum looks pretty cool.
It sounds pretty cool. I think I'd like to go. If I could ever visit Houston, but it'll be a while yet. I have to wait till Trump disappears before I come down there again, I think. Well, that, and I applied to Homeland, and I got approved for entry into the States, but I don't want to go through that process again until I absolutely have to. We'll see. It's hard when you have a minor criminal conviction. They will hold you up at the border unless you have that waiver from Homeland. They won't let you in.
That's why I don't understand, because like we had such great relations with Canada before.
Yeah.
We hardly ever had like a border security up there. It's like, okay, you guys go over. We can go over there.
Yeah.
And we don't need a passport and stuff. It's like
it's way more difficult now.
Yeah.
Way more difficult. Even in my childhood, I remember like riding my bike into North Dakota. Like I could literally drive halfway to like Grand Forks or something, and no one would stop me, And now I would be arrested, regardless of age. Yeah, for sure. There's no bloody way.
Because my parents grew up in the age of like they could go over to Vancouver and without passports and just come back for the day. Like, because my dad used was in the Navy in Washington. He was housed in Alameda Air Force Base.
Mm-hmm.
And worked on one of the aircraft carriers. So they'd go over to Canada sometimes, back and forth. Then they'd need a passport. Like that was the age of like good Canadian American relations, and we don't have that now. Like Trump kind of like fucked that up.
Yeah, I don't think he's fucked it up permanently or anything. It's our countries are friends, and they're going to stay friends for the long term. But even with Trump, but things did get more difficult. Yeah, absolutely. I think Americans were legitimately concerned about Hillary and all the rest of it. I get it. I understand. And I think they were concerned about border security. I get that, and I understand that too. But we share that more than we have it as a difference between us.
Yeah.
Like it's not like we're like, oh well, we'll let anyone in. Like we don't let people just anyone walk in. We just have a more liberally minded approach to how we go about letting people in, and we accept more refugees. So, but you do have to qualify as a refugee. There's definitely an approval process. Yeah, they get vetted. I've worked for security here. Believe me, I don't hold a security clearance for Canadian Defence just because they issue those to every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the street. You have to earn them.
Yeah.
And not everyone gets one. And certainly, if I was a refugee from a country, I wouldn't get one. I don't think not in less than 10 years anyway, for the level I'm at right now. I'd have to live here and be a citizen for 10 years. At least.
Different topic. I just saw a player have a Type 7 transporter
Yep.
flying around. I was like, I guess he's full of cargo. Like, that's pretty bold to keep on flying that around in open.
That's true. Well, there is a lot of I mean, there's still a lot of users on here that just don't know, you know. Like, they're still at the beginning of their elite careers, if I can call it that. And they just don't know how rough it can get in certain systems, and especially in open play. That's where I started, was in open play. I didn't get onto a private server until relatively recently. Like, Marcus is the first private server I've ever logged into with any consistent basis.
Yeah, I'll have to log into Marcus's here in a sec. Because I'm going to be using my Anaconda to do a mission.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to use private for the PvE aspect of the game, definitely. But I'm gonna have to go to bed soon. I'm getting tired.
Alright. Good night.
Anyway, good night. Talk to you again, Faramir. Bye. Bye.
Yeah. Talk to you later.
Bye for now. Alright everyone, we're off stream, and I guess we're headed back to Cubeo. I don't see... Well, actually, I should double check something first before I go completely for this evening. Got one more little thing I want to do here, and that is look into this system. There we go. So now we have okay, that's fine. Back, and we have to figure out what do we have for points accumulated with Aisling. So my rating is 1. I've earned 101 merits this week, and I need to earn 750. So I've actually got another 4 loads of these frickin' things I have to dump off here to have any hope of advancing up to level 3, which is where I need to be in order to get the prismatic shields I want. We'll do one more load and then we'll call it a night, actually. Sorry to those of you who are hoping I would spend more time on the game than talking to fellow commanders, but
You have been disengaged from the dock. Please observe speed restrictions upon exiting.
as you've heard, it's not always just about elite either. There is a social aspect to the game that takes hold, especially on Discord with voice chat. Cubeo system will be behind us. Plotting jump. That is not the jump drive. That is the jump drive. There we are. 21 light years to Cubeo.
Station limits exceeded. Have a good trip, Commander.
And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't forget, everyone, there's been some activity from SpaceX this past week, specifically since Friday, anticipating a docking with the International Space Stations fairly soon, I should think. As the United States returns to being able to put itself back into orbit without help from the Russians. Though the Russian scientific community is to be hugely commended for making sure that the option to use Soyuz was available during this period between the Space Shuttle orbiter and the commercialization of space travel, a strategy adopted by NASA some years ago. "20,000 kilometers and closing on the capital space station. 7,000, 6,000, 5,000, 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Subliminal. And we are
Alpha Romeo 0. The Empire cordially welcomes you to our facility, friend.
Ah, yes, the oh-so-welcoming Empire. Okay, there we are.
Approval granted. You are cleared to set down on landing pad 40. You are clear for approach, Commander.
Landing gear deployed.
And we're ready to depart back for the other star system.
Detachment sequence complete. Please exit the station safely and promptly.
Frameshift drive charging.
You are now clear of the station. Imperial Flight Operations Bureau wish you a safe onward journey.
ISS.
Prepared for your arrival on pad 2-5.
Okay, and
Scan detected.
pad 25.
Landing gear deployed.
And that will be it for tonight, once we are done distributing our propaganda on behalf of Ageline Duval. What you'll do now, we'll terminate this evening's events.
Commencing offload. Welcome to the facility, Commander.
We now have a total of 211 merits. Prepare progress now at 80,112. Latest contribution 110. Gained 11,000 credits for our trouble. There used to be a bar chart you could use here to find out what the status of the system actually is at. Okay, that's everything for tonight, Commanders. With that, I want to thank you once again for watching. This is Commander Trium, signing off for now and wishing you all a good day, good evening, and good night, wherever you are in the world. Fly safe, Commanders. This is Commander Trium, signing off at 7:43:36 Zulu, 3rd March, 3305.